Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to Workforce Wednesday. My name is Emily Petnato. I'm the Workforce Development Specialist at the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce and your host of Workforce Wednesday, which airs Wednesdays at noon. And we meet with a different member business every week to discuss their employment opportunities, their company culture, benefits, wages, and what it's like to work there. Joining me today is Cardinal Glass, and we have Maureen, James, and CJ. So thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Great. Let's dive right in, and if you could just talk about what Cardinal does, what you manufacture, and where you're located.
Cardinal Glass, we're located in Jessup. We're in the Valley Park. We manufacture laminated glass. CJ is our plant superintendent, so I'll turn the table over to him. He can talk a little bit more about the process to give you a better idea and understanding.
Yep, so we're manufacturing laminated glass for residential and architectural purposes. So we've got everything from the start of the process of cutting the raw glass all the way to actually laminating the pieces together, whether it's two or more pieces of glass, and then the inspection process to make sure it meets the customer specifications, and then shipping it out the door to the customers.
What are the positions you're hiring for currently?
Right now, we primarily need production technicians. And those are the different folks out on the floor that CJ just described. They're making the product.
And what are the hours, like first, second, and third shift?
Well, we have all different. We have 3 shifts, but the hours differ based on department. Right now, we see a more need for third shift, being starting at 9 p.m. and finishing at 6:30 a.m. Or we have more of a standard third shift, which would be 10:45 p.m. to 7:15 a.m.
CJ, would you be able to go a little bit more in depth about what a day in the life is like as a product technician?
Yeah, absolutely. So it differs a little bit department to department, but when they come in, we have some stretches that each team will go through, standardized stretches for each of the departments. So they'll go through some stretches, do a pre-shift meeting, and then they'll get into whatever their production schedule is. So if it's at the start of the process with the glass cutting, then they're actually going to plug the schedules into the computer system, so we can pull the right kind of sheets of glass that they need to cut down. And then they rotate each day. So one person's going to be breaking out, which is taking that large sheet of glass and separating it into the smaller pieces. There'll be a couple people that are seaming the glass, which is just rounding those edges of the piece that was just broken apart. And then there'll be a couple people that are slotting the glass. So we actually sequence orders, which make us very unique compared to a lot of our competition. So instead of just doing volumes, we actually sequence things. So those people slotting will actually maintain that correct sequence, so that way it can follow that same sequence throughout the whole process. For production technicians in our laminating area, so this is where we're actually going to take 2 pieces or more and stick them together. So we'll have a couple folks that are loading a line. So we got to wash the glass before it actually can be put together. Anything that's on the inside of it, once it's gone through our oven process, it's there forever. So they're going to load the line, goes through a washer, and then we've got 4 team members inside of a clean room that are actually going to do that assembly process. So they're going to take a piece of glass, put a piece of vinyl in between them, and then put the second piece of glass on top of that. We trim the vinyl to make sure it's flush with the edges of the glass, and then it goes through an oven. And then we've got 2 more team members at the end of the line that are going to unload it again in that same sequence to maintain that order. On our packing side, we take the piece of glass after it goes through our autoclave process, and we're going to trim it again, wash it again, and then we're going to inspect it. So the inspection process is a very important part of that process. So we're just making sure that it meets the specifications. So, for you, the homeowner, if you're going to buy a piece of glass, in a window, you don't want it to have debris inside or scratches or chips or anything like that. So we're going to just take a look at it to make sure it's a quality piece that's going to go off to a window manufacturer to eventually go into, any homeowner's home, whether it's a replacement or a new home construction. And then once it goes through the inspection process and passes, we're just going to wrap that rack up, send it off to our shipping department, and then they'll load the truck and send it on its way to the customer.
So how does someone learn how to do all of this? What is your training like?
So their training is a lot of on-the-job training. So they'll get paired up with a veteran employee and spend a little bit of time at each of these stations. learning. So they'll do some shadow time with a veteran employee, and then they'll flip roles, and the veteran employee will watch them, give them some pointers, but allow them to get hands-on activity with that material, whether it's in cutting, laminating, packing. A lot of folks through their experiences, they'll watch something and they're like, okay, I got it, but they learn a lot faster and a lot more effectively by actually doing the process and having someone there to guide them and say, hey, try it this way instead of that way.
Very nice. Can you describe the wages and benefits if you're comfortable?
Yeah, our starting wage for first shift is $16 an hour. Both second and third start at $17. We offer full benefits, medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, as well as short-term disability. Will be eligible first of the month following 30 days of hire. Our 401k, you're eligible for that first of the month following 60 days of hire. And then we also offer what is called profit sharing, which is if we reach a certain percent in our sales every month, we pay portions of the profits to employees. So new hires are eligible for that first of the month following 60 days. And that's based on your salary and hours worked for that month up to 160 hours. So that's a nice incentive. It's not obviously guaranteed every month, but we always say, we're not going to tell you go buy a brand new car and count it as your payment, but it is a nice potential bonus that all employees are eligible for every month.
What is one thing you would like to say to a job seeker if they're interested in applying at Cardinal?
Well, for me, there's a lot of opportunity for advancement here. I think if you come in here having no experience, but if you put forth the effort and you want to be here, you show up, you do the work, the possibilities are truly endless. We have over 40 plants across the United States. There's opportunity not only in this location, but anywhere. There's always jobs posting on our internal job board from Cardinal Corporation. So employees have the opportunity to advance anywhere in the company, truly. And one is sitting right across from me right now. So
yeah, and Maureen brings up a great point. We're not going to look at like a college degree or something like that and use that as a reason to omit somebody from a supervisory or a management role. We've got team members here that they're in supervisory roles, they're in manager roles, and a lot of that was homegrown here. We gave them an opportunity. They showed a lot of potential, and they became leads, did that for a while, became supervisors, did that for a while. And they've been very successful at that. So there's a lot of opportunity here for somebody who's looking for a career, but they're not looking to just do the same thing forever. They're looking for, hey, how can I move department to department and learn different things? How can I take on different responsibilities, different leadership roles, and really grow with an organization?
Is there anything you would like to add that I may not have asked?
I don't have anything to you. No, we got to fill out we have applications here. If somebody wanted to, come walk in and fill out an application, we have our postings naturally online through the chamber, and then also through our website. They could fill out an interest form right on there, and then it gets directly sent to me, and then it's reviewed internally, and then next steps go from there.
What is your website for the viewers?
It is NELG for Northeast Laminated Glass .workatcardinal.com.
Well, thank you both for taking the time to join me today and describing in great detail what it is like to work at Cardinal Glass. I really appreciate that, CJ. If you are an interested job seeker, we have more member business postings on our job board at scrantonchamber.com. And if you are a member business looking to enroll in a Workforce Wednesday session, please contact me at epetnato@scrantonchamber.com. And thank you for joining us today. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you.
Anytime.